2. How we doing, family? It's your boy, Yo, and this is another episode of YoHoops. I go through every NBA game every day. Today's Monday, March 16th, and we have an 8-game NBA card. I'm going to walk you through my thoughts and let you know what sides I like, so please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your favorite game in the comment section below. Without further ado, let me get into today's games. Recap yesterday, I went 3-4 on the 7-game card. I thought I was cooking because I cashed in the first 3 games, but I ended up dropping the last 4 in a row. It wasn't the easiest card, so I'll give myself a little bit of a pass, but I'll make sure to stack some wins tonight. In our first matchup, we have the Golden State Warriors in DC taking on the Washington Wizards. Warriors are minus 290 on the money line, and the total is 232. The Warriors come into this one on the second leg of a back-to-back, flying from New York to Washington, DC. They almost beat the Knicks last night, which was impressive, but all of their main guys ended up playing 30 minutes. Considering they're already short-handed, rest should definitely play a factor tonight. The Wizards kept their last game competitive against the Celtics, and this is probably the easiest matchup they've had in a while. Trae Young is playing, and he's definitely the best player on the floor. I see the Wizards having a chance to win it outright. In terms of a side, I am taking DC, but for my official selection, I'm taking the over. 6 of the Wizards' last 7 games went over this total, and that's because they play 0 defense. I expect both teams to easily score 120, and that'll get us over this total. I'm taking the Warriors and Wizards over 232 as my first selection of the evening. Up next, we have the Orlando Magic in Atlanta taking on Atlanta Hawks. Hawks are minus 145 on the money line, and the total is 231. For me, this game really comes down to not trusting the Magic without Franz Wagner. Anthony Black is also out, and we already know the deal with Paolo. The guy averages 22 points on 46% shooting from the field. You combine that with 3 turnovers a game, it's not a recipe for success. I do like Desmond Bane, but that's not enough against a team full of young talent like the Hawks. I'm taking Atlanta laying the 3.5 as my next selection of the evening. Up next, we have the Phoenix Suns in Boston taking on Boston Celtics. Celtics are minus 415 on the money line, and the total is 214.5. I like the Suns. They really have shown up against the spread, but this is a bad spot tonight. The Celtics are at home, at full strength, and Jason Tatum is back in the lineup. Phoenix is still without Dillon Brooks and Mark Williams. Playing your second unit is only going to get you so far. Sure, Devin Booker can have a decent game, but overall, the Celtics have too much defense and too much depth. I'm taking Boston laying the 9 as my next selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Portland Trailblazers in Brooklyn taking on Brooklyn Nets. Blazers are minus 480 on the money line, and the total is 221.5. Portland comes into this one on the second leg of a back-to-back, flying from Philadelphia to Boston. They lost the game last night as 9-point favorites, and a lot of their guys played 30 minutes. I do expect tired legs, but not to the point where they can't blow out the Nets. MPJ, Terrence Mann, and Noah Clowney are all ruled out. This should be the spot where Portland finally gets the 20-point blowout. They've only covered in 1 of their last 6 games, but that sets up for the bounce back tonight. I'm taking the Blazers laying the 10.5 as my next selection of the evening. Up next, we have the Dallas Mavericks in New Orleans taking on New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans are minus 360 on the money line, and the total is 241. The Mavs come into this one on the second leg of a back-to-back, flying from Cleveland to New Orleans. They got the upset win last night against the Cavs, but that plays against them in this one because all of their guys played over 30 minutes. It's not often we see the Pelicans as favorites, but when we do, they typically show up. They're now 10-3 against the spread when laying points, the second best team in the league. The Pelicans have really competed in their last 5 games. They should be able to handle the Mavs on no rest. I'm taking the Pelicans laying the 9 as my next selection of the evening. Up next, we have the Memphis Grizzlies in Chicago taking on Chicago Bulls. Bulls are minus 275 on the money line, and the total is 243.5. Both teams are really banged up, so I feel like you could flip a coin, but I probably want 7 points in my back pocket. Nothing jumps off the page to me, but the Bulls are a 500 team against the spread at home, so I'm not going into this one expecting them to win it by 8. The Grizzlies are 17-16 against the spread on the road, which is decent, and they have Cedric Coward back in the lineup tonight. I'll lean to the Grizzlies plus the 7 as my next selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Los Angeles Lakers in Houston taking on Houston Rockets. Rockets are minus 135 on the money line, and the total is 226.5. Sheesh, this is going to be a fun game to watch. The last time we saw these two teams play was on Christmas Day in crypto, and the Rockets blew them out 119-96. Thing is, I see this one playing out a little differently. The Lakers have been playing on another level, winning 8 of their last 9 games. Luka's out there orchestrating the offense, and LeBron's showing once again that age really is just a number. At full strength, it would be a tougher decision, but Sengun is still listed as questionable with lower back soreness. I think the Lakers return the favor in Houston. I'm taking the Lake Show plus the 2.5 as my next selection of the evening. Up next, we have the San Antonio Spurs in LA taking on LA Clippers. Spurs are minus 350 on the money line, and the total is 233.5. I really want to know if Kawhi is playing, but either way, the Spurs should handle business. Wemby's in, and we've already seen them torch all of the best teams in the league. From the Thunder to the Celtics, these boys compete with the best of them. Kawhi is listed as doubtful, so I'm somewhat banking on the fact that he doesn't play, but outside of the Claw, I can't count on Brook Lopez and Chris Dunn in my starting lineup. I'm taking the Spurs laying the 8 as my last and final selection. And that's going to conclude today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I haven't been killing it over the last few days, but we are still doing what we do in March. I'm now 58, 53, and 3. Let's make sure to stack some wins tonight. I appreciate all the support so much. I do this every day for free, so please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's your boy, Yo! And until the next one, I'ma catch y'all. Peace.